Welcome back to the GM. It is your guy, Boulanger. Up next, day two of the NFL draft. And as you guys know, we took Malachi Starks last night with pick number 27. And it seems as if there's a mixed bag amongst Ravens Nation. This is an unplanned live. So uh, just have to catch it when you catch it, so to speak. But there's a mixed bag amongst Ravens Nation. Some people like to pick. All of the analysts, of course, like to pick. Of course, they would because they believe that the Baltimore Ravens can do no wrong in the draft. And a lot of the fan base likes to pick, but then I think another half of the fan base does not like the Baltimore Ravens taking Malachi Starks. Believe that there were some other options available to the Baltimore Ravens, and I can't disagree. I can't disagree that there were not some other options, but it just kind of is what it is, right? But I guess we have been, as a fan base, we have been scarred. we have we have PDD, post draft disorder, right? Post draft stress disorder, PTSD, where um, sometimes what we come out with in the draft does not pay dividends. There's not a return on investment, right? And so it's kind of unfortunate that we don't always get the return, and so it kind of makes us a little bit bitter, a little bit have a little bit of animosity towards EDC and what he does and doesn't do as it pertains to building a roster. But I think this year, man, I think he's really trying to get it right. I think he can step back and see that he has made some mistakes in the draft. I think that he can step back and see that there were some picks he probably should have just let go. Everybody can point to a second round pick in David Ajabo. We cannot make that same type of mistake tonight. We're taking a guy that has some injury concerns. Um, we know a pick like a Ben Cleveland who has not, who's a third round pick from 2020, has not had a return on that investment. There are several guys who we drafted in the fourth and fifth round who have not had a good return on investment. A guy like Adisa Isaac, third round pick from last year, has not had a return on that investment but of course that was a first year, ordeal. But at this point, man, it kind of is what it is. But you know what? Let me give you guys this intro so I can finish some housekeeping as we get deep into this conversation. All right, here we go. All right, so let's talk, right? And so, um, GM, what you think? You've been hard on EDC. You're right. I have been hard on EDC from the time I came in the door about 18, 19 months ago when I started making content. Uh, I have been hard on EDC. Do me a favor, man, if you're here, you're catching it live. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't have the capacity to see what the chat is, what's going on in the chat or the comment section. I just want to jump in here for about 30 to 40 minutes because I know we got to get ready for the draft tonight at 7 o'clock. I may see if I can get my wife to bring home some pizza so I can just eat pizza and watch the draft. Nevertheless, I'm going to be in here live talking about what we see, talking about what we hear. And so uh, I've been hard on EDC since the door, right? And um, I think he's been trying to do a good job, no matter what we think about the results. I think he has put forth some effort. I know a lot of times we definitely kind of see it as they don't have love for the offense. We don't see a lot of high end offensive guards or tackles being drafted. The most high end was Tyler Lindenbaum, who was a center. Let me turn off this ESPN app. There's nothing they're going to tell me before this draft start that I'm going to be interested in. So let me hit this right quick. All right, that's off. And so shout out to Tyler Linderbaum, but for being a continual Pro Bowler. But we don't have any left tackle, right tackle, first rounders. We got one right tackle, second rounder, no interior guards, first or second round. And so tonight could be that night. Tonight could be the night where we go trenches. I think we're definitely going to go trenches with one of the picks that we have available, but I don't know which round. I definitely could see the Baltimore Ravens going cornerback, if I'm just telling you the truth, with that pick 59 if the right players on the board. But I do have some guys, man, I think the Baltimore Ravens should take a look at. Personally, man, I'm not even mad at the Malachi Starks pick. You know why? Because I beat the drum enough about protecting Lamar. I beat the drum enough about adding to the offense. And it kind of is what it is, right? The truth is, here's the truth serum, right? If I'm on truth serum, I cannot deny that the Baltimore Ravens are better today than they were yesterday this time. And that's the truth. No matter whether I thought Malachi Starks could have been taken a little bit later, we could have traded back and still got him. Whether I thought we should have traded back and got a different type of player. The fact of the matter is, all of the interior linemen were gone. Whether it was Zubo, who is kind of a guard tackle combo, whether Booker, who's the only pure tackle, pure guard in this draft, thus far, they were all gone, right? So then you had to look at edge and some other positions. And Malachi Starks was the best player on the board at his position for sure. And so we took him. So we're better today than we were this time yesterday. Now we got to figure out, can we get better tonight? Right? Malachi Starks is an upgrade over our Darius Washington, right? So our defense is immediately better, barring any type of injury or unforeseen circumstances. We know those things can pop up. So when we thinking about tonight, man, I think that there are some players we should consider. Man, it's a lot of big time talent still left. A lot of players I'm excited about, man. And this is part of the reason why I was saying that I thought the Baltimore Ravens should trade back in this draft and get some extra day two picks, because it's going to be a lot of talent still available. Um, Let me talk about a couple of our foes. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers will try and figure out a way to get up into the second round to take a quarterback. I think we'll see that tonight. I think the Cleveland Browns take Shedeur Sanders or Jalen Milroe with the first pick tonight. I think they're definitely going to get a quarterback. Um, the Cincinnati Bengals, they're probably going to go. They're probably going to go or edge rush with this first pick tonight. So you're definitely seeing the level of competition being raised in the AFC North. I think everybody got better last night, right? And we all understand this is an arms race. I think Pittsburgh is playing catch up because they still have questions at quarterback. I think the Cleveland Browns have a couple of options at quarterback, Kenny Pickett, and then whoever they draft tonight. And then the Bengals are set offensively. I think you see the Bengals probably go. Actually, the Bengals may not go cornerback. The Bengals may go running back. Now that I'm thinking about it, they may go get one of the high end running backs who are still left. There's Scatterbo still available. Where they pick in the second round may be too early, but hey, if you like a guy, you take him when you want to take him. Um, I think winners from last night. Before we get to the players, we should look at tonight. I think winners from day one. I think first and foremost is Tennessee Titans being in the number one spot. Take your guy and be done with, right? If you think Cam Ward is your guy to kind of be a franchise changing QB, the Tennessee Titans have been trying to figure out that guy for a long time. They drafted Malik Willis, they drafted um, Will Levis, and now they draft Cam Ward. And I think Cam Ward is going to be the answer. They have a lot of solid weapons out there for him. And I think as long as they build that offensive line, he's going to be what they drafted him to be. I think that this is going to put the Houston Texans on notice that they better get the job done pretty soon because Tennessee will be coming if Cam Ward is what he has been billed to be. I think the Cleveland Browns was a winner to be able to trade back from number 2 to number 5 and take the best interior defensive lineman in this draft class. I think is a win for the Cleveland Browns to pick up a next year's first round pick, to pick up some second round capital this year. I think they've done real well. I think you're going to see Cleveland become immediately competitive because they're going to have the opportunity to walk away with 5 or 6 uh, top 100 picks from this draft, and that include and then when you include what they did last year, man, you're going to see their team come to form pretty quickly. And so, hey, shout out to Cleveland for handling their business, for making a good trade and doing what they needed to do, man, for their team. Let's see, Pittsburgh, I think got better. Uh, I think they won, right? Because they're going through some aging down in the trenches, and to get a guy like a Derek Harmon in the 20s, I think that was a good pull. Let me see who else. I'm gonna give a shout out to the Carolina Panthers, man, who drafted the Tech McMillan. No matter what you think about him, he is still hands down the best wide receiver in this draft. When you talk about 2 years and 3 years in college, 28 touchdowns, 3,400 yards. Um, you know, hey, got great hands, good catch radius. He may not be fast, but he definitely offers a big time target, which is what a young guy like a Bryce Young needs. And so yeah, I think they're a winner. Let me see who else. I think everybody else just got good value picks. I can't think of anybody. Shout out to the Las Vegas Raiders for having the guts translation, drop the G at the end to go ahead and take Agenti. Right, I know the running back room has been devalued over the last before the last couple of seasons. It had been being devalued for about 10 years. And so you're seeing the resurgence of the running back. And so Addison Gentry goes, and then Omarion Henderson goes to the Chargers, man. So shout out, man, for those guys for go ahead and reviving the running back conversation in the NFL. And so now, man, let's get to. Oh, wait a minute. I think the New York Giants are winners, right? For them to grab Abdul Carter with the number 3 overall pick, and then turn around and trade up and get their quarterback, man. Uh, that's a big time move. And Jackson Dart doesn't have to come in and be anything but a student for his first season. And it gives him an opportunity to just learn from a vet, a team guy. No matter what you hear about Russell Wilson, man, at his core, he's a good dude. And I think he'll be willing to mentor the young guy and get him ready for the league. So, man, I think the New York Giants ended up with what they needed at a couple of different positions, getting Abdul Carter and both Jackson Dart, man. So shout out to the Giants as well. Now let's get into the Baltimore Ravens, who we should be targeting tonight, and we're gonna get out of here. First up, man, when we take a look, man, at what we need, I know we've been talking about the trenches. We need trench help, and so I don't know why that little thing is on there. I wish I had taken it off there, but it kind of is what it is. But Avante Ursery, right? He's a 6'6", 330-pound tackle who could slide in and play guard. He's raw, but he's powerful. He's athletic. And I think that he could be a guy at pick 59 that if he's on the board, I think the Baltimore Ravens should consider him. We're going to need a left tackle or right tackle of the future. I say left tackle or right tackle of the future because the Baltimore Ravens could move Roger Rosengarten to the left at some point when Ronnie Stanley departs, and so we'll need a right tackle. Or we just need a guy who can fill in and be the eventual replacement for Ronnie Stanley. And Ursary has the skill set. Um, and if he has the ability to slide inside and play left guard, I think he's an immediate upgrade over uh, Voorhees, who kind of split a little bit of time early last season with Patrick McCarry before being replaced due to injury. So I think Arante Urshry could be a good pickup for the Baltimore Ravens at pick 59 or in the third round. Now he will not be available at number 91. So the Baltimore Ravens like this kid, and he's the best player on their board. I think they should go ahead and take him. I think he would be a big time addition to what we're trying to do offensively. Again, I like his power and his athleticism. But let's not start with Arante Ursery. Let's go over to Tate Ratledge. Now, Tate Ratledge is a guard, but he probably could play tackle. But this guy's powerful, has good technique, uh, solid with his hands, hand placement, good with leverage, and I think he could be a plug and play guy, a guy who plays with again, strength and power are different, right? Power is what you exert, strength is what you already possessed. And he has both power and strength. And so I think that Tate Ratledge could be a guy who could, again, slot right in, day one, plug and play guy. Again, unless there's some type of unforeseen issue that we don't have access to that information to make us aware right now. So I think Tate Ratledge could be another guy that we could look at in the second or third round. Again, I think a guy like this is going to go off the board in the second round. So if he's available, I think the Baltimore Ravens should give him a look. Again, with these first two guys, Ratledge and also Ursery, you're seeing a theme building, and I'm talking about trench work. I think the Baltimore Ravens must do trench work. I would be okay with the Baltimore Ravens going trenches both 59 and 91, right? And what I mean by that is offensive line, one pick, and then defensive trenches, whether it's an edge rush or it's a interior defensive lineman. Doesn't really matter to me which one they go with. They both handle their business up front near the line of scrimmage. So Routledge could be an option for the Baltimore Ravens tonight. But in truth, a lot of other players are going to be looking at these same guys as well. Excuse me, a lot of other teams will be looking at these same guys tonight. Let's see who we got next. Yeah, Marcus Mabo, right? Now, this guy is also athletic, powerful, big, strong. I think if I remember his measurables, he's 6'5", 325, 330. He may be a little bigger. I've looked at so many players as I was getting prepared for today, but as you see, more trench work, right? Tonight must be the night of the trenches. Um, I think Marcus Mabo would be who I would take above the other two. So if I had to order them in priority, I would take any of the three if they're available and nobody else was on the board. But I would go Bobo, Ursery, and then Ratledge. Bobo has a little bit of a mean streak, play with a little bit of nastiness, good feet, good length, good power, good strength, and he can be dominant in the run game. And you guys know that's what we do in Baltimore. We run the ball. So if Mabo is available, I would be okay with them taking this guy as well. Um, some of the predictions and projections had this player going as high as 40 in the second round. I've seen some mocks go 40. I don't really care where he goes. I just know if he's available for us, we should absolutely consider him, right? Because we need to build that offensive line and make it strong and solid. Because I showed you in a video about a week ago, multiple aspects of teams being destroyed by defenses when their offensive line was trash, or at least trash in those moments. And we know that we've seen moments where our offensive line didn't show up like they should in the playoffs, and it costed us. Or it cost us. There's no such word as costed. And so Marcus Mabo could be an option for the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I know that's not my last guy. I know I had one more on here. Let me see. Let me see if I can get this thing to do what it's supposed to do. Oh, wait a minute. I must have downloaded it before I added the other players. Let me see here. Let me go back this way. Ratledge, Ursery. Okay, well, just let me tell you about the other guys then. Let me drop this off my screen. A few other guys, some players still talking about trench work is a guy like a JT Sanders, probably more of a third rounder. Um, edge rusher, who also can play on the inside. He'll be a great option for the Baltimore Ravens. Again, third round. A player, a big bodied guy, kind of a Jordan Davis mold, a guy like a Deion Walker, I think could be an option. He's just a big run stuffer, gap filler, 350 pounds. I think he's like 6'6". Would love to see the Baltimore Ravens do something with him, stick him right in the middle of a defense. More guys in the trenches. Let's see. There's another guy I had on my mind. Come on, Leon. Think. Uh, Man, I can't. Oh, Brand Swenson, edge rusher, a guy explosive and powerful off the edge. I think he could be a good fit for the Baltimore Ravens as we're looking for an edge rusher. Who else? Who else could be available for the Baltimore Ravens tonight? Some of the guys that are my favorites, like Donovan Izarok, who is still available, but he's going top of that second round. Let's see, somebody else who's fallen. If we jump to corners, I got like a Will Johnson who is I don't want to call him a risk, but I think he fell out of the first round. He's a top 5, top 10 caliber player. But with that injury, I guess it scared teams off, which may mean there are some red flags concerning his medicals for him to fall out of that first round. Uh, I haven't done any investigation on Will Johnson to see if there are some red flags, but it must be in order for him to have fallen so low. And I still think I do think he goes on day 2. I think it'd be a great value, but I don't want him in Baltimore. Could he be an absolute game changer for us? Sure, he could. But we thought that with David Ajabo, who came in with the lower body injury, kept him out for the first season all the way until like the last 2 or 3 weeks. And he showed some flashes against the Bengals in his first season. But after that, man, we hadn't seen him do anything much. And so super nervous about picking up injured guys um, or guys who have medical red flags. So there's a guy, if we're gonna go cornerback at 59, Azariah Thomas. From what I remember, he did not allow a touchdown this past season. Good size, good length, solid speed, good cover guy. He's probably better in man than he is zone, but that's fine. Um, I think he could be an option for us. A big kid, a big cornerback, and Dorian. What's his last name? Porter. I think that's his last name. 6'3", great speed, but he has some injury concerns too. But I think that if again, we don't have the insight on the medicals, but I think if his medicals check out, he could be a great option for the Baltimore Ravens to kind of add to what we're trying to do defensively. Again, I started out talking about trench work, and I think that our first pick in the second round should be about the trenches. Let me close out with this. I think the Baltimore Ravens should show, I said this earlier, they should show a level of aggression. They should absolutely take the opportunity to package some of those 10 picks that we have remaining and get an extra third round pick. I believe that. Or take 59, add a couple of 6 round picks to it, and move up and get a guy that they got their eye on. I don't believe that we can just sit around in this day 2 of the draft and just wait on guys to fall. Will somebody fall? Of course. You have to pick somebody. But I want to see a level of aggression. Now, tonight could be the night that you see some trades from the Ravens. Again, Mark Andrews, Odafe Owe. You could see these guys move. Now, I think it's more likely that you see Mark Andrews move than Odafe, especially if we don't pick a edge rusher in the second round. If we don't go edge in the second round at pick 59, Odafe Owe will be a Raven, and he'll just leave next year in free agency probably. But if you see us pick an edge in the second round, that could be a lean into a trade. I don't know. This is just my speculation, but that's what I'm thinking, man. So listen, I'm gonna check you guys when the draft starts around 7:15. I'll be in here, and we'll just talk about who the Baltimore Ravens pick up. So listen, I'm your guy Boulanger. Appreciate you guys. I'm out.